Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to my spiritual channel. It is a learning channel. I like to think that I'm teaching here. I have written a book. If anybody knows of any agents looking for a writer, I'm here. It just considers all aspects of spiritualism, mediumship, animal guides, angels, you name it. I think I put it in the book. I've got 39 chapters. There's 30 years of teaching and learning. Surprisingly, I have qualifications. You can get qualifications in mediumship, which I have done through the Spiritualist National Union, which is a body that trains mediums and trains mediums how to teach as well. And I've been heavily involved in that for a lot of years. Also teach tarot, as well as spent some time investing in tarot and how to learn it, and learning it rather. So yeah, I have a lot of qualifications, and I hope through this channel to be raising the standard of mediumship. This is what I want. I think in all aspects of alternative therapies or holistic experiences, there's a high element of doubt, and it's well earned because not everybody is fabulous, but it negates all of the good honest mediums, all the good honest healers, because there's so many people just jump on the bandwagon. But I think that's fair to say it's in any holistic occupation. There's good hypnotists that really can help, and then there's bad hypnotists. There's good acupuncturists and there's bad acupuncturists, and the same goes for what I do, except that I am trying to raise the standard so that everyone gets to meet a good medium when they know, when they go for a reading. As I say, some of us do have qualifications, we have trained, so that might be worth looking out for. If you do want to find a medium in your area, if you go on the Spiritualist National Union website, there's a list of mediums that have been trained through the churches. So you're in with a good chance then of finding a good medium. Authentic medium. Authentic medium. I think that's the word I'm looking for, I'm not sure. Today is going to be interesting. I find everything I do interesting, that's why I do it. But today we're going to be looking at elementals. So don't switch off. Elementals. Let's start. Elemental kingdoms. So you need clairvoyant vision. You will not see the beings that lie behind these seemingly inert elements, although they sometimes appear to young children. A child that claims to have seen a fairy may be telling the truth. With practice, it is possible to sense their presence clairsentiently, feeling presences, to feel how their energy affects you, to see them clairvoyantly, and to hear voices in the wind. You can then begin to communicate with these beings. I find with the elemental side of what I do, because everything is just energy, so we have elemental energy. This isn't working today. I have to hold it. Okay. We have fire, earth, water, and air. So those are the 4 elements that we work with. And in the good olden days, they were all given names, weren't they? So the earth elements were gnomes and dwarves and things like that. Not about dwarves, no, gnomes, take that back. So the air elements, they were fairies, weren't they? People used to imagine the fairies. Water elements, they were mermaids, and is it manatees, I think, perhaps. And then there is fire spirits. Those are the ones that live in volcanoes, and we have spirits that like candles. We always like candles, we want to communicate. And these were known as salamanders, and animals that like hot sandy places. So earth spirit. We'll start with the earth elementals. Don't switch off, it just gets in more interest. you don't believe in elementals, believe in air and fire and water, the power of water. When you're walking by the sea, if it's a gentle, calm wave on the edge of the shore, that can relax you. And if it's crashing waves, that can invigorate you. So don't deny the effect of the elements on our body and our mind. This is why people like to go for a long walk in the countryside, because you know that green energy, that green earth elemental energy can heal and soothe and help depression and all sorts of things. So elemental energy is really important. I think everything that I do is really important. So yeah, because life is all about energy. So all of energy affects us in so many ways. There's, you know, some people like snowy wintry days, and that makes them feel alive, and hot summer days. That's me. I'm definitely a hot person, a salamander person, and I didn't like living by the seaside one little bit, although I'm a Pisces. I found it too erratic for me. Sometimes it would be really still and calm, and you'd walk the dog, and the next day it'd be crashing waves and sand blowing into all the shops and sand everywhere. I think the seaside and the elements energy there was too erratic for me. I much prefer Birmingham. Sun and rain, that's all we have to deal with, and not often the physical stresses of the weather that changes when you live by the sea. So wasn't there. I'm a city girl, and I was glad to get back to the city. So anyway, don't switch off because we're talking about elementals, because it's really useful energy to know about. It's used for healing in lots of ways. So let's see if I can steady this book, steady my books if we can. I can look at them so looking down. Here we go. Right, so we talked about seeing fairies, mermaids, gnomes and things. So we call them the spirit of the four elements. So earth spirits relate to rocks, stones, minerals, precious gems, hills and mountains. And traditionally they're called gnomes. All aspects of the solid physical structure of the planet come under their domain. They are found within rocks and have freedom to move around, but they like to stay close to the ground. So you can see why, I don't know how far back we're going, but I'm going to say olden days. They named these elements because they affected how we behaved and who we were. So they gave them names and energies. Water spirits are connected to all liquids, but their presence is more powerful by streams, rivers, lakes, and of course the sea. They are traditionally known as mermaids. Stories of mermaids and mermen are accounts of these beings. And spirit and water have a very long history. You will notice quite often if you're swimming, for me, or if you go in the bath or the shower, that is when you can feel the presence, or they talk to you, because the water relaxes the body and it's an energy, and they can talk to us through that energy. This is spirit, not mermaids. Air spirits are best sensed in winds and breezes. Air energies can move and change quickly, so they can be difficult to pin down. The perception of a fairy with tiny wings that can fly is a close approximation to how they appear to children and clairvoyants. So again, the energy of the air can affect us if it's really, really windy, or a light breeze, or freezing cold winds. So it does affect us. Elements, weather, earth can all affect us. Fire spirits, these can be found in any fire, such as volcanoes, candles and infernos. They are known as salamanders and are thought to associate only with philosophers and creative minds. The connection these elemental beings have with the physical world is very different to how our spirits look in the physical. There is a relationship through vibration, but they are not tied to any physical form. So that is the fire spirits. Always an education here, isn't it? Things you never thought you'd hear about. Put that there. Yes. Elemental evolution. Elemental beings choose how to start their spiritual journey and evolve by first learning how to manipulate and understand their own element before progressing to embody the qualities of another element. An earth elemental or gnome that is associated with a group of rocks by the sea may come to understand the role of undines or water beings. Development continues until all four elements are assimilated, at which stage an elemental being is given the accolade of being called a diva. Once diva status has been attained, the elemental being takes on greater responsibilities, looking after whole areas of land or sea, and become responsible for a group of spirits. There are divas which look after towns and cities as well as tracts of the countryside. At the top of this metaphoric tree is a planetary diva, which many people have called Gaia. So that is the Earth. So these are not necessarily meant to be taken literally. If you have seen fairies and mermaids, I wouldn't negate that for you. But it just explains how another energy affects us. We've got spiritual energy, we've got psychic energy, we've got elemental energy. So energy affects all of us all of the time. So this is just another element of how elemental energy can affect us. So how to communicate with elements or the elementals. Elementals can communicate, Elementals can communicate with us through telepathic images to represent information on things they know and understand. However, to communicate, you need to believe in their existence. This can be hard for people brought up in a very not rational way, but once the mind has been open to consider entities such as elementals, there is a rich world waiting to be explored. And as I've explained, you don't have to consider elementals as beings. You don't have to consider them as fairies. What they are, just different elements of earth, fire, water and air. They're the elements that we want to work with because they can all bring something to our energy. Okay. If they presented an image to us, say a golden rock, we might not identify it as an elemental spirit. In a similar way, fire elemental would more likely to present itself as a fire. They present mental images to us that reflect our understanding of them. A person who disrespects nature will never gain their support. We need to appreciate how our emotional intentions show up in our individual energy fields, which can easily be read by others and spirit essences. So this is why it's important, I believe, to understand all forms of energy, the earth, air, fire, and water. We all know water can be soothing and relaxing and invigorating, and so for the wind, if it's really, really windy, it can be bracing, can't it? And yet you can blow all your cares away, can't you, in the wind. So if you look at what I'm describing here, these elementals as weather, I suppose, you might understand them a bit better. So, earth elementals related to rock, stones, precious gems, hills and mountains. They call on an earth elemental for finding lost property, protection property, and helping you to acquire material possessions, and also garden when you're growing things. Call on the earth elementals. Water elementals obviously are more powerful by streams, rivers, lakes and the sea. They help to provide emotional stability, the ability to control emotions, assist in cleansing and purifying water, and protect you when you're doing water activities such as swimming, boating, skiing, those kinds of things. Air elementals. They're known as fairies. They will protect you when travelling, are good at helping you find information through books and inducing mental clarity. So they are a physical representation of the air and our thoughts and our imagination. Fire elementals are found in volcanoes and most forms of flames. They are powerful cleansers and protectors for earth healing activities. There is tremendous power from fire elementals that is very useful for dealing with negative energy. If you invite elementals into your life, find a place in nature, in life, in your dreams or in meditation, and ask if the elemental is willing to give you guidance. A picture may form in your mind, you may physically see something that's meaningful, or you may get a strong emotion or physical reaction. This will be your answer. So these are the elements to call on when you want to influence energy. I think whatever I teach here is about influencing energy. Oh, going off piste here. Okay. Okay, so this is talking about spellcasters and how we use different energies for different things. So fire is generally used to banish things. Excuse me, I'm not comfortable. And the spell generally ends with burning the spell to ash. A water spell will use running water or collecting water for healing or enhancing psychic skills. That is called when you read running water. So earth, you can bury unwanted quarrels and ground us when we have too many things on our mind. But we know that, don't we, if we just go walking out in the countryside, or they say put your bare feet on some earth, don't they, to ground yourself. And air spells are used to learn about our inner selves. Wind, rain, sunshine and the earth all have a place in spellcasting or influencing rather than spellcasting. Crystals, flowers, water, candle flames also contain elemental spirits which we connect to and call on for healing, meditation, psychic ability, etc. So I think we need to look at all of these elementals as energy and how we can use that energy in our daily lives. For instance, if you was doing a reading, if you are using this book with the aim of becoming a medium, their meaning in various readings, so you're doing a mediumship reading, air would signify intellect, intuition and future goals and dreams. Fire signifies transformation, cleaning and passion. Water signifies the emotional healer. Water is associated with our emotions, art, time and is inspiration for the artist. Earth is the physical healer and keeper of earthly abundance and provides grounding, stability and endurance. Earth is a reliable element, peaceful and tranquil, and an element of everyday life. So when I am doing my mediumship, because I do use cards and I do use the elementals as well, whatever they show me I interpret. So if they showed me running water, I would assume that things need to be kept moving, They showed me a still pond, because particularly when you first start working with spirit, they show you images rather than seeing the actual spirit. If they showed me a still, quiet pond, I would think there's some depth there, that some things need to be brought to the surface and not keeping suppressed underwater. So how you feel about these energies is how spirit can use your interpretation of your feelings when you're giving messages. Anything you don't understand, please message me. This has been interesting. I'm trying to do a second video about elementals, and twice now I've recorded and it stopped recording and deleted the video, so I don't know what I'm doing. I have emptied my basket, not my basket, I've emptied my deleted things. So I'll try again and see whether it records, otherwise you'll have to have half the video and the half when I get my filming fixed. So I was saying, elemental energy, all energy is really useful in life for anything. That's why we have healers. They use energy to heal. We have spellcasters. We have people that manipulate the energy. So elemental energy is used in all sorts of areas of life. For in the tarot cards, swords are air, pentacles are earth, cups are water, and wands are fire. Astrology also uses corresponding star signs when reading our personality and futures. So air is Gemini, Libra and Aquarius. Capricorn, Taurus and Virgo are earth. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio are water. And Aries, Leo and Sagittarius are fire. So wind, rain, sunshine and earth all have a place in spellcasting, but I think in our lives in general, weather affects us, energy affects us. We are energy, which is my belief. So so then we lean into crystals, flowers, water, candle flames also contain an elemental element, or an elemental spirit if you believe in elementals. So we can call on this energy for mediumship, healing, meditation, psychic ability, and all sorts of other things. So the reason that we need to know about elementals is how they can help us in our daily lives, how all these things can help us. Air signifies intellect, intuition and future goals, so it's worth meditating on the element of air if you want mindful things. Fire signifies transformation, cleansing and passion. Fire can give us wings of courage and compassion. Fire is the energy burning inside us, giving us drive to go for our goals. Water signifies the emotional healer. Water signifies the emotional healer. Water is associated with our emotions, art, time, healing, and is an inspiration for the artist and the philosopher's soul. This is what I did. Have I lost you all now? If it's annoying me, it must be annoying you because I'm not fussy. Earth is the physical healer and keeper of earthly abundance and provides grounding, stability and endurance. Earth is a reliable element. It is an element of everyday life. Sort this out. Stay there. Okay, I think that looks right. I should sort that out before I start, shouldn't I? But I was just worried about it going off again. About every 3 or 4 minutes, it stops filming and deletes. So, the power of elemental energy. So, walk by the sea, whether it is a calm and peaceful day, and the warm waves are lapping around your ankles, and you feel really calm and at peace with the day. Or if the waves are crashing over rocks and boulders, which invigorates, gives you energy, and makes me want to go home. So water energy soothes, calms, or invigorates. Consider the difference between a warm bath and a cold shower. So water is a very important element. for energy, for how we feel about things. I have to put a cushion on this chair. Earth energy, everybody knows how good it is for us to get out into the countryside and the earth and put your bare feet on the grass. So earth energy, climb hills, visit forests and parks, pick flowers, hug trees, get out in the garden and get soil on your hands. Walk the dog. Getting out into the countryside has been proven to help mental health issues. I do love gardening when I get time. When I get out in the garden, though, I never come in. I'm out there for hours. So the sun relaxes our body. The wind invigorating us. The rain wakes us up and is cleansing the world. Think of the energy of the moon and how it affects every living being. It affects moods, doesn't it? Stormy weather, the power of thunder and lightning reminds us of the power natural energy has. Whether we love storms or are afraid of them, there is no denying the power they possess. This is all elemental energy that over the years we have given form and names, such as fairies, gnomes, mermaids, dragons, etc. By understanding your element, you will be able to appreciate your own strengths and become aware of your weaknesses to help you build better, stronger relationships. It hasn't gone off yet. So exercises you can do to connect to elemental energy. So in spiritual work, when you're meditating or working with spirit or reading cards, however you use it, bring these elemental energies into all of your spiritual work. The most basic connection, as we talked about, would be to get out in nature. For some people, the sea connects us. For others, open green spaces or densely wooded areas are where they feel at home. Different areas and different times of your life can bring you the spiritual connection you need at that time. Gardening is an excellent way to connect to elementals. You can incorporate all elemental forms, a water feature, a rockery, a fire, and of course, feeling the earth as you're creating. Learn how to look after your immediate environment, pick up rubbish, plant insect-friendly flowers, hug a tree, as they say. Being out in nature has been proven time and again to relieve stress and ease depression, as well as offering the physical benefits of walking outside and being in the fresh air. If we begin to consider ourselves a part of nature, a human form of an elemental, which I believe that we are, I think the world in general and our health would benefit beyond comprehension. Something as simple as arranging flowers in your home, feeding the birds, or taking a dog for a walk helps connect us. Bring the outdoors inside. We naturally did this as children. We would bring home seashells whenever we went to the beach, find coloured or unusual pebbles, perhaps bringing crystals into our environment. That's very popular now. They all serve a different purpose, so choose stones or crystals you are drawn to. Open your windows every day and let the fresh air blow the stale energy from our home. This energy is called Qi and is used in the art of Feng Shui, which I also will be doing. I think that's in my 4th section of the book. We talk about Feng Shui and the practical ways to bring elementals and spirit into our home and keeping it calm. So this is a meditation now to connect to elemental energy. So I'm trying to talk you through this. You have to excuse my, I don't know why I can't keep these pages up today. You'll have to just look at the top of my head. So once you sit comfortably now, if you do this meditation, please have a go at doing the meditations. I think any form of meditation helps our energy. It expands our energy because it relaxes us. When we're stressed, we're stressed, our auras and our energy draws tight to us. And when we're relaxed and feeling calm, our energy expands. So that helps us also to make a connection and heal. So I want you to, we'll have a go at this meditation. So please make sure you're sitting comfortably. Close your eyes and take 2 deep breaths. Become aware of your out-breath without changing the rhythm. Remain sitting and just observing the flow of your breath. Visualize yourself standing at the edge of a garden. To enter, there is a gate made of wrought iron. When you touch it, it feels cold and wet. But once you are inside the garden, you can feel the warmth of the morning sun on the top of your head. As you walk forward, you can see a stream ahead of you. Take off your shoes and socks to wade across. The stream feels icy cold. You can feel the pebbles under your feet and you have to concentrate to keep your balance. When you reach the other side, you climb a little bank of earth to get out of the stream. You can feel the earth and the grass drying the soles of your feet. Does the earth feel soft and squishy, or does it feel a bit hard and pebbly? Consider how it feels under your feet. You feel energized now you're on the other side. In front of you is a huge oak tree, so large you cannot reach all the way around it. You stop to feel the huge trunk and can sense the energy emanating from the tree and down into the earth. On the other side of the tree is a small woodland, and you see a little clearing and the stump of trees that have been cut down. You choose one and sit down to rest. As you sit there quietly, animals come close to you. Rabbits and foxes and birds. They all catch your attention and you find you can get close to them. They might even settle on you or next to you. Imagine what their fur or feathers would feel like to touch. Sit quietly for a minute. After a minute, you stand and say goodbye to your animal friends. Make a note of any animal that feels familiar or you feel connected to. Did you feel your animal guide come close to you? As you leave, the wind gets quite strong, whirling around you. You can feel it whipping around your face and your hair moves with the wind. It begins to get dark and you sense your way back through the park. It starts to rain, quite light and fine at first. Then you feel the cool, wet drops of rain on your face and hair. As you wade back through the stream, the coldness of the water wakes you and breaks your dream state. When you reach the other side, you stop to put on your shoes and socks as your feet are freezing. You reach the gate before night falls completely and you feel the wet and coldness of the metal latch. Once you are on the other side of the gate, you feel warm and comfortable. Please, start coming back into the room. Feel your feet on the floor, wiggle your fingers and toes. Feel your weight on the chair and finally open your eyes and become aware of the room. If you're with other people, discuss the meditation. What elemental energy did you feel the most? Was it the air or the rain or the trees or the grass, the earth? Which of the elemental energy did you feel you connected with the most? Did you feel the coats of the animals? Did you manage to get close to them? Did you enjoy walking through the country? And could you feel the cold water as you waded through the stream? Repeating myself again, please make a note in your diary about any thoughts, impressions or feelings you absorbed during the meditation. All information may be useful in the future when you are giving messages. For example, how they felt with one form of energy, elemental, may be relevant when they are communicating with spirit, especially if they get the same feeling repeated when you're getting a message. So back to a journal, always important, always really useful to look back on, because what elements of elemental energy affected you the most this week might be different next time you do the meditation. So you might have felt the really cold of the stream, but next time you might feel the bark on the branches. So depending what energy you need to absorb or what energy you need, it changes, and it's really interesting to look back on the change, how much you change as you develop. It is a lifetime of developing, and I find that through teaching, repeating the same things, the meditations, the subjects, and teaching over and over again, just makes you more sensitive. It just makes me more able to communicate with spirit. It expands you somehow. So, and every time I do a lesson, a student will say something I've never thought of or never wondered about. And with the cards especially, they'll give me an interpretation of a tarot card or an angel card that I've never heard before, never thought of. So teaching is a wonderful way to become professional, to become more knowledgeable about. So you learn so much through teaching, and I think it's been one of my biggest values, because as I repeat lessons and repeat workshops, I'm learning all of the time. So yeah, repeating things is really useful. Making notes of things is even more useful. And I hope you enjoy the elementals, however you feel about them, whether you believe in like the elementals in fairies and gnomes and not sea monsters, mermaids and things, whether you want to think of them as physical aspects of elementals, or whether you just want to think about them as how the elements affect us. It's a really useful tool to have in our workbox, in our spiritual workbox. So thank you so much again. Any questions, please message me. Anything you'd like me to talk about, because I do know everything spiritually, and I look forward to seeing you next time. I'm not sure what we're doing next time. We've done elements, we've done, oh, it might be dreams. Yeah, so we're looking at dreams next time. Can spirit visit us in our dreams, people in our dreams, visualizing exercise, lucid dreams, astral travel. Have you ever done that? I've done that. Journaling, keeping a dream diary, my favourite thing. So next time I see you, we will be doing discussing dreams. Thank you so much for being here again, and see you all next time.